Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Michael Del Rey. We're on Porn Education right now. I'm here with Dante Colle, and we're going to do a little interview today. Give you guys some fun stories and also a little bit of educational tips and tricks, stuff like that. So, Dante, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself to kind of start out?
Yeah. I've been in the industry for about 5 years now, just kind of really starting to break out now. I'm 23 years old, live in California. There's really not much to know about me.
I'm sure there's plenty, but yeah.
Live and chill.
For an overall synopsis.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit, right off the bat, kind of your studio work, kind of what you think about that, the bigger studios that you work with, and then also the difference between that and kind of some of your more homemade stuff, your own content.
So I've worked with, for the most part, the majority of the gay side now, and every studio is always different, and it's awesome at the same time, just because you're always getting something different, and constantly learning. But there's some that, let's say, put more work and time into it, and then there's others where you could bust out a scene in an hour or something like that.
There's higher end studios and there's lower end studios. You just say what it is.
No, I'm not saying that. Some of the higher end ones can even be just
you're not wrong.
Quick.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, it's there's just so many different things in each studio, but with my own content that I make, it's everything that I know now and what I do, I've learned from being in the industry and learning from these studios, because everyone does things so differently that I can just
you kind of get a little piece of everything. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, being a model, if you do actually pay attention to kind of the back end or the other side of the camera, and you pay a little bit of attention. We were talking about that earlier about how we hear all these things when we're on shoots, this light, this camera shit, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? We hear it, but eventually you start to hear it so much that you do finally start to learn what it is. But now that we're kind of on the other side too, making our own content and stuff like that, it's oh, that's what that means. That's what. Right.
Do these random words, and all of a sudden be that's what that fucking word meant.
Yeah.
But it also helps because the more that you learn what they do, even if you want to make your own content or not, it's you kind of got to co-direct the whole thing. Because you got to think what they're thinking. Because if all of a sudden this light's moving or this camera's moving, you kind of have to know what they are doing so you can make yourself look good for what they're trying to do.
Yeah, so when you're making your own content, you're basically working both sides of the camera.
Right, but I'm just saying, just doing a scene in general. You kind of gotta be on the same wavelength. It makes things so much easier.
Definitely. Yeah. Shit. Okay. Word. What about a little bit about your worst story and your best story? I know that sounds so cliche, but honestly, I think we all have a horror story in porn. That's a lot, and a story that is the reason we stay. Not maybe the reason we stay in porn, but something that definitely was an amazing experience.
Totally. I'd say the worst right now is just I had this kind of sort of rapey scene. I'm not going to say which studio it was, but basically, when I perform, I kind of make it real in my head, and inadvertently, and then I made it too real, and it really got me fucked up. But I'm totally fine about it now. But it was just it was uncomfortable at the moment, and the studio had nothing to do with it. It was all me. But it was just but that's not even that bad. That was the worst thing in my entire porn experience.
Yeah, and it's not like anything happened that really was past your boundaries. It was you just made it a little realer than it needed to be, and it gave you that kind of fucky feeling.
Exactly.
Totally get that.
I'd say my best experience would probably be the time that you and I met when we were in Fort Lauderdale.
I know. I don't want to was it that time? But also come on, that was so much fun. Yeah, so we're in Fort Lauderdale, and we're doing this shoot with TrentonDucati.com and a Naked Sword kind of collaboration. It's called The Chosen Few. It's fucking incredible. So excited for it to come out. They already started releasing little bits of scenes and stuff.
Yeah, my scene was the first scene that...
Yes, they he had the first scene, and we went out the entire night before. We both had an off day, broed out, and we're the only people in this shoot house. Became really close. Went out, met some of my friends who were in town. It ended up going crazy. We got in a little bit of trouble the next morning
because we stayed out till late. We stayed out till like 3 or 4.
But we nailed our scenes. Once they realized we were performing fine, they didn't care.
Yeah, they wanted to be mad, but
they were just a little worried that we weren't going to be on it, but we were good.
Yeah. So I'd say that was probably my best experience, just because I met some great people. Some people, like everybody there that we were shooting with, I'm basically all like friends with still. Like
close.
That was like
Well, and also like that shoot turned into like a month of all of us like seeing each other all the time, because that entire shoot we all went to LA after that to go to these award shows, and it was the entire cast and Trenton and a whole bunch of other people we know now. It was badass. Yeah, and that's how we just kind of like.
And then we all saw each other in Vegas. Like, what was it, like a week later?
A week later for the AVN, the AVNs. Yeah. Oh my god! And
that was a blast.
And then we shot in Boston with Icon right after that. Yeah, it's kind of all been history since. Shit, man. Like, porn life can get a little crazy, a little rowdy. Okay, a little bit about just to add the educational piece. I think you and I both have a lot of thoughts, if you will, on like agents and testing and porn safety, which really is kind of everything else that a porn star needs to deal with outside of their studio work. I mean, there's so many pieces, social media, all this, but your kind of lead up to your shoot is testing, agents, travel, all that shit. What do you have any like tips, tricks, kind of your experiences
safety
with it?
And just like
just kind of like walk me through your leading up to that porn shoot. You know what I mean? Let's say when you had the agent.
When I had the agent, I mean it's just the same as it is now. I mean, it just kind of like depends on how long I'm staying, because I will never take more than 2 bags with me. A backpack and then a smaller backpack, but it's kind of like a duffel bag. But like, if it's like a weekend, then I'll just bring a single backpack and try to pack as much in it as possible, because like when you do porn, you need different options of clothing. Like I could last.
Yeah, like studios will demand that you have, like they'll say have a few pairs of jeans, a few V-necks, a few crew necks. You can have logos on anything. Well, a lot of people have logos on their shit, even if they're little logos. Like Nike logos or something. You know what I mean? There's always something. So on top of not only it being you need to have all this variety of clothes for them, it's also the smallest piece of your wardrobe because it's the most bland, like abstract shit.
Yeah. So. Yeah, everyone's different. Some people are better at it, but like I just try to fit as much as I can into small things. So I'll never have more than 2 bags. So I will just just get everything ready the night before. Depending on what time I leave, just head to the airport straight from there, because that usually takes hours. Or drive, depending on where it's at. Most of my stuff's been in LA recently, so I just drive everywhere.
Or Vegas, you just come up here,
Yeah, so then the testing usually is done like a day or 2 before.
The scene.
Yeah, like usually.
And that's not like that with everybody. Like we shoot it next door.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we also get like 2-week testing.
A lot of places do it like not 2 week. It's usually like they want it at a very specific time. They want it like in enough time that you're still like good. You know what I mean? Like it's been only a few amount of days, which is still a few amount of days.
So like you always have like that 2 week of testing. You will always have that. You always be tested.
But
some studios will be like, okay, well before you come here, I want you to test the day before, so we know this morning that you are not
right. Clean. They'll test you far out and again, right? With like as a precaution. Some places they'll test you a little too far out because they want that time in between. If you test dirty, for them to find another model. Which is not terribly awesome, but something that's a part of the industry.
But with the testing and stuff, like I feel like that is just a huge thing, and I recently went through some weird shit with that, a couple different things, and it's just like, don't let anyone tell you anything about testing. Like if you're not comfortable with it, don't do it. Learn as much as you can about it, because it's your health. It's your responsibility.
And it's not even comfortability. It's more than that. And even me, like I really like to think of myself as like a pretty educated, well-rounded individual. But my knowledge on sexual safety is not what it should be, and that is because I've learned all this through the porn industry, and you hear the same things over and over again, and you start to think that is the reality of things. You think you're getting all this knowledge, but really it's one very warped opinion that is the porn industry. And I'm not going to go out there and say that models aren't safe, or porn is a huge safety risk for like stuff like that, because it's not. we're tested more than any normal person. You know what I mean? We're just more aware. You know, it's constantly something we're thinking about. Most porn stars don't even have sex outside of their work.
Yeah, like my
They're just
sex
not
life
worth
is
it.
sad. Like I wish it was better, but it's sad.
Well, it's like I'm tired. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like
my dick's broken.
And don't get us wrong. When we decided to have sex, you know, it's fucking blast. But
but like, and a lot of people think that porn stars are not very sexually safe, and that's not the case.
No.
The fact,
we have to be,
on the other side, the porn industry does do like not the very best job. Like it could definitely be better.
Yeah, I mean it could always be
but
better.
I'm still tested more than I would have ever been if I wasn't in the industry. Like I'm definitely way safer in the industry. It's just still not as good as it could be, I suppose.
And like that's the other thing. Like the other day, someone a studio was offering me work to work with HIV positive people, but put me on PrEP. So they're like, oh yeah, it's going to be safer. Like. Fuck no, like I'm not like I don't feel comfortable with that, and he's trying to convince me this entire time, like, yeah, no, do it, like trying to pressure me, and it's like no, like at the end of the day, this is your health, you gotta watch out for yourself, so don't let yourself be pressured in anything you're not comfortable with.
Yeah, and I think you and I are in a really fortunate situation where you know we do get a lot of work, and you know we make our own content, we're doing pretty okay, but a lot of porn models, you know, are brand new young adults that don't have a lot of money and you know are being offered this cash for this scene. Well, that money's spent, you know, 2 weeks before they even get to the shoot. So it starts to become like, oh, I have to say yes to everything because, you know, I already have this money spent on shit. You know what I mean? I can't not get this check. And I know I definitely did that for a little while too. Like, you know, like porn isn't the best money when you first start out, you know, if you're not getting constant shoots, if you're not big, like it's just not the greatest money. It really isn't, you know what I mean? So yeah, a lot of studios know that. They know that they can tell you what to do because you need that check, and that's unfortunate. But yeah, and that company that you're talking about specifically definitely does that. So it's shitty. But yeah, no, I think the big thing in porn is just don't conform. Don't become porn, you know what I mean? It's a very alluring lifestyle that kind of sucks you in. It's not that porn is bad, there's this genre, this lifestyle, this kind of conformity that people start being like in porn, and it really kind of takes from you, I think.
Yeah.
And it's just important to really stay yourself and stay on your own vibes and stay on your own kind of lifestyle.
Definitely.
Well, word. All right, well, this one's kind of a short one, guys. I just want to add a little interview. Dante, thanks for being on, my man.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to have everybody's, or Dante's social media links in the bio, so check that out. Guys, we're still really new in doing this, so we're really, really interested in your feedback, your comments, your subscriptions, of course. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Take it easy. I'm Michael Del Rey, Dante Colle again, Porn Education. Take it easy, guys.
See ya.